Welcome to the after show for Blossom into Your Best Self. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates. And as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hey, everybody, how are you motivators doing? Welcome to the after show for the empowerment for the Blossom into Your Best Self. Sharing some of the nuggets and the gems. And I will say that it was a huge success. All of the ladies did an amazing job. I'm just here to show my highlights, to share my highlights, I should say. But of course, first of all, I am Marlene of Marlene Motivates. I am the host of it. I put the empowerment conferences together every 3 months. And this was the spring session of the Blossom into Your Best Self Empowerment Conference. So I'm just going to get started. The first part of the empowerment conference was Team Build with Geo, and her topic was change your mindset and blossom into your best self. I thought Team Build with Geo, her title was phenomenal because it's really true. Until you change your mindset, nothing in your life is going to change. So she started off by saying, have you ever felt stuck? And how many of us in our life, we feel stuck in situations and we feel stuck in problems and all kinds of things. But it's very important for us to not believe that we are stuck. See, once you in your mind believe that I am not stuck, that I have a purpose, I have a reason, and I can change and shift anything that I want. And it's one of the reasons why I always talk about mindset shifting, because it really is the source. It really is the key to everything in this life. If your mind is negative, if your focus is negative, if the people around you are negative, it is going to cause you to feel like you are stuck when you're not. So Gio also, she started off by saying, grow your mindset. Many times we stay in a mindset and we think that's going to be it forever because of the way we were raised, the conversations that people have with us, the way people communicate with us, the way people treat us. So she talked about 2 different mindsets, which I thought was awesome. And it was the fixed and the growth mindset. So in that fixed mindset, it's the belief that our abilities are set in stone and can't change. And many of us grow up having that fixed mindset because of how other people talk to us. Maybe it was your parents, it was your friends, maybe it's the community that you lived in and the way that they treated you, how they treated themselves. And we start to adopt those things because we just feel that this is all for me. And it's when we usually give up hope in our life. And I want you all to be encouraged to know that even if we grow up grow up in that environment. Even if other people say certain things, even if other people did things to us, we don't have to stay in that mindset of being in a fixed mindset. We can release that and we can let it go and we can get into the growth mindset. Now, growth mindset, you have to be in a space to where you're open, to where you're wanting change. You have to be sick and tired of certain things in order for you to want to be in that growth mindset. Hi, Colton. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday to you. You have to want to be in that space of wanting to be in a growth mindset. And if you all haven't already, please hit the like and share this out. If you have never been in that growth mindset, you have to be in that space in your life to where you're happy, to where you are sick and tired of getting what you've always gotten. Maybe it's the way that you treat yourself or the other way that people are treating you. See, once you change your mindset, you change your focus. And when you change your focus, you change your life. So, this is what Gio said. If you start out your day with a negative mindset, nothing is working, nothing will ever work, nothing is good is happening for me, I'm nobody. If we start believing those things about ourselves, that is what you're going to draw. You will stay in that space to where you will not be growing. You're in that fixed mindset. But quite the opposite. If you allow yourself to be in that positive mindset, everything is working for me. That's the growth mindset. That's when everything in our life is going to change. Because when our mindset is right, it's going to shape our life in the right way. And many times our mindset is not the way that we want it to be, because mindsets aren't shaped in stone. And I really appreciated when Gio said that because I never really thought about it that way, but it's true. Mindsets aren't shaped in stone. You have to see something bigger, you have to want bigger, and you have to want better. And most of the time, that's the problem. We don't see that we can do better, that we deserve better, that we can change, or even feeling that we want to change. We have to be in that space of wanting to make changes for that to happen for us. So when we think positive, then change will happen. And so will our mindset. See, you have to change your lens. That's what Gia said. Change your lens. And how do we do that? We put on a positive lens because just to know that there's possibilities for change and growth. And gratitude is a superpower. When we are grateful to be here, when we're grateful for another 24 hours, everything changes. But we have to understand that setbacks can happen, and setbacks become stepping stones to the next level in our life. And when we start to elevate, when we get into that mindset of growth, so does everything in our life. But we have to understand that setbacks are going to happen, but it's all about our perspective and our focus. When we allow our setbacks to empower us, everything in our life shifts. So the next point that Gio brought out is that challenge those automatic negative thoughts. So we have to choose to be successful. Sometimes when we are in that space of being negative, we don't allow ourselves to believe that that can change. We have to challenge what is the norm for us and allow ourselves to change it. And it takes practice, especially when we've been in that negative mindset, that fixed mindset for such a long time. Just like it took you years to have negative behaviors, to have negative thoughts, it's not going to happen overnight. When you are trying to shift your life, when you're trying to elevate and to grow, things are going to be different for you. And it causes you putting in practice. So that means some days you're going to be in the good space, some days you won't. Some days you want to do things for yourself, and some days you won't. But, just practice. It's very important to encourage yourself in anything that you're trying to do in your life. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. It takes time to make changes in our mindset. And it's very important that we celebrate our victories. It doesn't have to be a big deal for other people, but is it a big deal for you? Is it something that is important for you? So celebrate your victories. It takes practice, and we have to practice in having positive thinking. Geo didn't put that in there, but that's my thought. I always tell myself that it took a long time for you to be negative. It may take you a long time to allow yourself to be positive, for you to allow yourself to be in the moment of thinking that things are possible for me, that I can be focused, that amazing things will happen for me and are happening for me. But it takes time and practice, and keep on trying. Don't give up when you regress sometimes, or you take the back seat. Okay. Point number three, Gio said to find your tribe. So it's about your associates. Who do you surround yourself by? Because if you find yourself with positive people, supportive people that believe in you, and I think that that's the most important thing. You could have people who support you, but are they feeding your mind? Are they encouraging you to be all that you can be? And many of us do have a lot of potential, but other people do not feed it, and that is a game changer. You're going saying things like, "You're doing great. I have confidence in you. I learn from you. I'm here for you to support you. Let's do this together. I believe in you." And it takes practice to be positive. It takes effort, practice, and time. So those were the notes that I had from Geo. Now we're going to move on to the second part, which is Pandy, and she did blossom into your best self. So anticipation of renewal of warmer days, be it in nature, um, it helps us because just like in the spring, things are blossoming. And it's a great time for us to, number one, have a clear vision. The song came out many years ago, Living My Best Life. And this is the time where we seed. And this was her first point to seed, is a decision to put in the work. So you want some changes to happen, you want to have some personal growth, and that's your seeding time. Then it comes to your sprouting time, where you're making a commitment to unpack all of the hurt, to lay dormant everything that you want to change. Okay. But we have to want to do something about it. I think that that's the most important thing that Pandy brought out. You have to be willing to put in some work to do something about your life. Okay. And if you don't like it, you have to be willing to put in some work to change it. So the next part that Pandy brought out was blossoming. When we blossom, we improve our personal self development, and we allow the seeds to sprout. Now, how many times do many of us get into situations to where we stop ourselves from winning? I know that I've done it many a times. I've talked myself out of my gifts. I've talked to myself out of blessings. It's basically called sabotaging your success. And when we do this, we really are stopping ourselves from winning. And it's really stems from us in the lack of confidence, giving into fear of, what if I win? What do other people think about me? We have to strengthen our inside in this time, of our blossoming time. So it takes work. We have to put in some maintenance in it. We have to water, and whatever that maintenance is for you, do the work. Just like in the springtime, where maybe after many months, maybe it's time for us to weed out some things in our garden. Whatever work it is that you need as a human being, to all of you motivators, put in the work. Put in the work of whatever it is that you need to be your personal best. I know for me in this season, I'm working on being more patient. I'm working on being more compassionate and kind to myself, allowing myself to say, "You're tired, sit down, get rest, work on my self care, but taking care of me." If we don't maintain our own self, there's nobody who's going to advocate for us. And if you do, you're really fortunate. You're really blessed to have people in your life that will advocate for your maintenance, for your watering season. So whatever that maintenance is for you, do the work to spring into action. And that was really the point of Pandy's part about springing into action, making things happen, to not just sit down. It's 2024. I remember just a few short months ago, we were talking about it's 2024 and we have all of these goals and we're going to make things happen and it's going to be a wonderful year. But throughout that time, like the energy, the power, the vibes towards elevating and doing things kind of goes away. We kind of get back into the old routine and we get comfortable all over again. But it's okay. Now it's springtime and it's a time for renewal. So when we hit a low in our life, we have to seed, or we have to put in the work. Put in the work to make your life as phenomenal as you want it to be. So you have to want to make a commitment to change. And I can say for myself, I did not want to make a commitment to changing my life. I really didn't. I didn't want to make a commitment to anything in my life because I didn't believe in me. Now, I know many of us, we always talk about how much we love ourselves, but because we love ourselves, we're going to allow ourselves to get rest. We're going to allow ourselves to have a positive perspective. We're going to allow ourselves to grow and to thrive. Hey, Coach Sherry, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. It was a wonderful empowerment conference. Glad I'm catching this after show. Thank you so much for being here, Coach Sherry. I really do appreciate it. And when Pandy was saying this, if you guys could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being here. It's so important. I'm going to put the link in here, Coach Sherry, if you are interested in coming up. I don't know if you're busy at this time, but just you can if you want to. It's not a requirement or anything like that. Hi, Val. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being here. Happy Sunday to everybody. And I really love this point when Pandy was talking about commitment, making a commitment to when we want something in our life, making a commitment to grow, making a commitment to change our life. And we can change our life if we want to. I was in that space for many, many years of just being so comfortable and be complacent and dragging my feet and thinking that I can't have great things in my life, seeing other people elevate, but I was still in the same space. But each and every one of us has the ability to make changes, to have a phenomenal life, to do anything that we want. But sometimes all we need to do is to do some encouraging to ourselves, getting ourselves a mentor or a positive support system. Pandy called it, I think it was Pandy, called it her tribe. Or was it Geo? No, that was Geo. She said, find your tribe. And it's very important that we find a tribe of people who will support us and pull us up when we feel down, or will hold us accountable. Hey, what about this? And what about that? How is that going? That's going to give us the impetus, that will give us the strength and the encouragement and the power to keep going and to keep trying. Okay. So whoever needs to hear that, don't give up. It's the springtime and we all can do anything that we want. We can all make changes. We all can do better. Okay. Now we're over to Be Amazing Sylvia. This was the third part of the Blossom into Your Best Self Empowerment Conference. Now, Sylvia's title was Blossom into Who You Were Born to Be. Now, I thought that that was a great title because many times, well, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, I was in a position at one time or another to feel like I was not worthy. I wasn't worthy of doing anything. I see Coach Sherry here. Let's invite her to the show.
Good afternoon, Marlene. How are you?
Hi, hi, hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So yesterday was so dynamic. I really love the different points of views that all the ladies bring to the empowerment conferences. And the great thing about YouTube is how it is recorded and how we can create that playlist so
Mhm.
that it's almost like, archived.
Yeah,
And I definitely feel that anyone that came and listened, they were inspired and motivated as well as transformed. If they put any of the things that we shared with them into action, they definitely will find that it will transform and blossom them.
yes. I'll let you. I don't know if you're in front of your notes, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and share any points that you want to share from whoever it is that you want to share. I don't know if you have your notes or you just off the top of your head from your memory. It's up to you.
Right. I do actually have my notes right here, but
Okay.
my topic was about the process of becoming. And, in life, we all are trying to evolve into a new person, into a new thing, into something better, into something that was presented to us. And examples that I use in terms of becoming is, you could be becoming a wife or a husband, a spouse, getting married, or becoming better at being that. You could becoming a manager because of a promotion, or you want to become a better leader for your organization or for your business. Whatever it is in your life, personally and or professionally, we are always becoming, but there is that process. And sometimes people get, I think, paralyzed during that process because they didn't take the proper steps to prepare. And, some of the steps that I went over yesterday was about self awareness and really doing a deep dive into who you are. And the next is about vision setting and, really mapping out the different areas in your life and what those areas are within those areas, because you could want to improve personally, but what do you need to improve personally? You could want to improve financially, but what within your finances? So you want to be very specific and write them down by doing a mind map and mapping it all out and then just throwing up all those things. But you also want to be very timely with it. So if you can't get to something within the next 6 months, I wouldn't say 6 to 8 months, I would say, maybe put that on your future board, because a lot of times people focus on that future 5-year plan. And 5-year plans are great, but what are the baby steps to get to that? And I
Yeah.
think that's the piece that people miss. And then about learning and skill development. Once you understand the changes that you want to make, you are self aware, you want to understand, well, what are my gaps? What am I missing? What do I need to upskill, reskill myself on? Maybe that's taking a course, maybe that's becoming certified. Whatever it is that you need to do, you can do it. And I also had shared, I talked about LinkedIn Learning on my channel a couple of nights ago, and how LinkedIn Learning has great learning courses that you can take for free. Or if you are lucky to have a LinkedIn Learning account, you can go deeper with it. So definitely look into different ways you can self develop. And then overcoming the challenges and the obstacles that are there. We all happen upon obstacles bumps in the road, and some people stop and turn back, but it's not about turning back. It's understanding that if you were brought to that obstacle, you definitely can get through it, and strategizing on how you're going to get through it. Getting be I
Uh-oh.
love being uncomfortable because I know
Uh-oh.
I'm growing.
What happened?
I can't see you.
Don't tell me this happens again.
I can hear you, but I just couldn't see you.
Oh, okay. It's my Wi-Fi. I thought it ended. I was like, oh no, not again.
Is
Continue,
it windy
Mary.
where
I'm
you are?
sorry.
Is it windy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
maybe that's
storming here.
okay. It has been exceptionally windy these past couple of months here in the Carolinas. And I mean, so much so, I'm expecting there has to be some type of major storm going on somewhere, and I'm not understanding, what the shift is. I know we just had the eclipse, and
Mhm.
actually in New Jersey, they just had an earthquake
Yeah,
last
I
week.
heard that.
So there's definitely a severe shift going on, which is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
I wanted to share my favorite point from your the one that I wrote down and put a star around it, and I shared it in your chat, but I think that this was really good about you sharing about doing 360 evaluations.
Yes.
And for me, I don't know why, but I never really thought about asking other people feedback about how I am doing or how I am showing up as a counselor and a coach. I just feel like, okay, I'm giving the advice, I'm doing what I need to do, but working on improving the quality um, of my teaching and the tools that I'm giving, like are they learning, are they growing? So I thought that that was doing that 360 evaluation and having a worksheet, not just letting them say this and this about you, but having like where you they can write down and so you can get true feedback. I thought that that was key. That was really good.
Yes, 360s are so powerful, and it definitely helps with your self-awareness and reflection for sure. A lot of times we take it for granted that, we are doing all these things for people and we're doing it to the best of our ability, but are we? And those 360s will definitely showcase that. And Marlene, even as a coach and as a counselor, it's also important for the coach to be coached. I have an executive coach that is phenomenal because, I want to make sure that when I'm working with my clients, or even as a manager, I have a team, I own businesses, I have employees. I want to make sure that I'm handling them in the proper way and developing them so that they can be their best. And sometimes, especially as a coach, you can get depleted. You are taking on so much information from people. It's not just about strategy. Sometimes it's that deep stuff that, you know, they're sharing with you because they are evolving, and it can be very deep and heavy for you. And so sometimes, it makes you not as sharp as you would like because maybe you're just really thinking about what you just heard, but then you have to pivot because your day goes on, you have your next situation. I know for me,
Yeah.
throughout the day, my coaching sessions, as well as meetings, and as well as developing the things I do, they're basically back to back. I may have a few minutes in between, but my calendar is stacked. And in order to effectively and be present for each, I found that I needed to be coached. And I had to stop one day and I just said, you know what? The coach needs to be coached.
Yeah.
And, you have to be real with yourself and understand that. So, if you don't already have one, I highly recommend it. Oh, you're frozen. Or am I frozen?
I don't know. Oh, it's back.
Okay.
It's doing the buffering thing. So, yeah,
Okay.
what it is, what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I feel like that was really key to this discussion, and also, when you were talking about vision, settings, brainstorming, what are your shortcomings? And I can't say for myself, I don't like to think about my shortcomings. I just like to keep it positive. Oh, I do this good and I do this good. But it's very good to be honest with ourselves because that's how you can grow.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's interesting. I do a lot of community events and career exploration events and just a lot of different things. And so when I debrief with my team, of course they always want to say how wonderful it was and well received and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's the obvious. We
Yeah.
know how well we did. Tell me what we need to do again. What do we need to do better? What do we need to improve on? What were some of the deltas? That's what we really, because what we do good at is obvious.
Yeah.
And so I actually have, for professional development for my team, I have them reading this book called Think Again, and is by Grant Adams, or Adam Grant. And it's a really good book because, we can always think that what we have going on is the cat's meow. And then if we don't think again, Marlene,
Mhm.
sometimes we can be left behind, because one of the examples that he uses in that book is about BlackBerry, and how BlackBerry back in the day, was the cat's meow. It was everything. It was cutting edge. It was technology at its best. It was everything at your fingertips. And when it was approached to him to maybe do something similar to what Apple has done, the founder was hesitant and was like, "No, who would want that?" He thought it was absurd. And now BlackBerry is, trading at zero. It's
Yeah.
nothing. It didn't keep up with the time. It thought it didn't have to change. It was just focusing on what it was already doing well, and didn't think again to improve and to change and pivot. And that's what we always have to do in everything in life.
We have to change and pivot. Um, I wanted to go into any of the gems that you had from Coach Mary Ma.
Oh, I always get gems from her all the time. She, everyone really speaks my language, it seems, when I am listening in on them. And, with Coach Mary Ma, just talking about how you have to continuously self improve, and, just understanding just the power that you have within, but it's about really recognizing it and letting it blossom out and come out. That's the kind of message I want to say throughout the entire empowerment conference that was resonating within me, especially when the presenters were sharing their personal stories of how they've overcome, and breaking through as a seed, as a seedling, and breaking through it and blossoming. I think is a beautiful thing to have in your mind, but to know that that's what we're doing with our life. And yes, Coach Mary Ma always hits it on point when she talks about the importance of believing in yourself, so that you know that you can do it. We are all overcomers, and any seed that makes it on the other side of the earth is an overcomer. So, yeah, everyone was great.
Everyone was great, and I really like her title, "Dare to Dream,"
Hmm.
because it's
Oh
one of
my
those
goodness.
things that sometimes it's like, yeah, you can have dreams, but sometimes it seems like our dreams are out of reach.
Hmm.
So I like that she was saying, dare to dream, no matter, it's never too big.
Yeah.
Dream big, because she also shared those who were in their time, like before they became popular, like now, Martin Luther King, Elon
Yes.
Musk, they all were just ordinary people. And so
Yeah.
are we. We're ordinary people, but they dared to dream and then they did something about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, because she was saying about Martin Luther King and I Have a Dream. And Dare to Dream is something that, resonates with me as well. I love that. And that was her title. Um, because some people don't dare to dream. They push dreams sometimes in the back of their mind, and they'll say, that's not for me. But my question is, why
Mhm.
not? Why is it not for you? Everything is possible. And then going back to what Gio was saying about journaling and the importance of writing it down, when you have those dreams, don't just keep them in your head, but write them down, make it plain, and revisit them and strategize around how you will accomplish that dream. And next thing you know, you'll look up and you'll have it. Like it
Yeah.
really can and does happen like that.
Yeah.
I remember when we lived in New Orleans and we had a ranch home. It was a nice home, but when we moved to we knew we weren't going to live in New Orleans forever. We knew that was not going to be our permanent residence. And so my husband and I started to keep a dream book. And it was just like a photo, it wasn't a photo album. It was a binder, a 3-ring binder. And I had purchased some plain paper to put in it, as well as pockets, clear pockets where you can cut out things from magazines. And so we had it divided into all sections of a home: bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, exterior, all kinds of things, because we used to always get real estate books and those luxury home books, and we would just cut out different parts of rooms, like, oh, we like the way this column is or whatever.
Mhm.
And we were doing that for about 4 years, and it was just growing. I mean, I still have the binder. And when we moved to Charlotte, I remember, you going through looking at homes with the realtor and everything. And the house that we ended up getting, when we walked in, it just blew us away. Like, it took my breath away. Like, oh, this is so, and we didn't even realize why we loved it so much, but it just felt right. And when we got it and we're moving in, and we happened upon that book, and I opened the book, and we hadn't visited that book in probably a year to that point. But when I opened it up, almost everything that we had put in that book was in that home. And that's why it resonated so much with us. So you
Yeah.
have to put it down and make it
Mhm.
plain.
You do. And that's one of the things that my mentor told me that really helped me. It's nice to have goals, but it's very important to have reasonable and attainable, like in like make sure it's something that you can reach to, and then have ones that you can't reach right now, but it's something in the future.
Hmm.
So because it's like a reward when you achieve those small goals, then it gets you encouraged to continue to get to the next level, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% believe that. And we can't take it for granted, those small goals. Sometimes when people achieve those small goals, they don't even acknowledge it. It's
Mhm.
almost like just part of the day, but it is important to acknowledge it. And one of the things I've been coaching some of my clients on is about a to done list. A done list. We have the to-do
Mhm.
list, and we mark things off. We cross it out, we it disappears. Or if it remains on, if you have an Outlook and you use it and you cross it out, it's still there, but it's like disrespected because it's crossed over. But that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And we're so eager to put down what we have to do, but we aren't as eager to put down what we've accomplished. And so at the end of the week, it's about having a list of the done things, the things that you have done, that you've completed, so you can look back and realize that, you know what, I did some things this week, instead of feeling like I don't feel like I got anything done, you
Mhm.
know. Um,
Yeah, that's
Baby
true.
steps
That's
count
true.
too. Hmm.
That's true. It's so important for us to remind ourselves that we're actually actively doing something, because just with the mundane day to day of life, you feel like you're like that hamster running on the wheel and you're not getting anywhere. But when you, like you said, having that list of things that you have done and crossed off, it gives you something to say, look at all the things I've accomplished.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And especially if a person works for a company, and if they have performance reviews on a bi yearly or yearly, time frame, a lot of times if they have to put down the things that they've accomplished, they don't remember. But if
Yeah.
you have that done list, that's like your laundry list. You can look back and say, okay, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And you can break it down into quarters. This quarter, I accomplished X, Y, and Z, and put that on there. And, people are always surprised if I ever have to get rated. I always get exceptionals. And they're like, how do you get exceptionals? And I said, because I only put down what I exceptionally do. I know what I have to work on. Why would I put that in a performance review? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but you have to know what those things are. And if you have it already plain and written down, you easily can recall it. And who can deny those things that you have done exceptionally well?
Exactly, exactly. I agree 100%. And another thing that Coach Mary shared, it was about action. She said that our aspirations and inspirations can become a reality, and the power of positive thinking will help with that. So
Hmm.
I think that many times we are inspired by things, but then we just leave it there. But we have to allow ourselves to um, be aspire to get those things, because some things
Hmm.
can inspire us, but then we don't do anything about it. So,
Right. Right. Definitely. And that's that action part. That's the transformation of it all. That's why I always ask people, like, what is your one nugget, your takeaway? Because we can listen to things all day long, but if we're not taking anything away that we know we can implement right away into our lives, then we are just being motivated. We're just being inspired, but that's not an actionable thing. So
yes,
what is the transformation? How is this what you just heard going to transform your life? And that's
exactly.
important. I
That's
have a question for you,
Oh, go
Marlene.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I think this is such a phenomenal concept, and doing this 4 times a year is powerful. How do you come up with your topics for each conference?
Well, okay. So, I do 4 times a year. I do what is it? The win the the spring, the fall, the winter, and the summer.
Hmm.
I do 4 of those a year. So, whatever the season, I have what you call a notebook, and I start in for every season. I start putting down certain keywords, something that inspires me, and so it just happened to that the word for spring that really popped into my head was blossom.
Hmm.
So I put
Yeah.
down blossom, and then I put self. So I was like, blossom into your best. Yeah. So, I like take keywords, sometimes with reading, because I'm a bit of a nerd. I read the dictionary. So certain words will inspire me to um, come up with the conference names.
That's good. Yeah. Because, sometimes I just wonder, like, wow, that's a great, all of them, all the titles of the conferences have been spot on. And I'm like, wow, that's clever. Or yeah, that's going to be a great topic. It's very timely, very appropriate for where we are. And yeah, and it inspires me to do some digging deep too, because you always encourage us to come up with a title for what we want to say. So definitely that's helpful to keep my mind going too and looking things up.
Exactly. I'll
Mm.
be right back, Coach Sherry.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. I can't see the chat. I'm going to go on YouTube. Let me see. I hope everyone's having a great day. Okay. All right. I'm on my iPad, but I have to go on my phone to see the chat. Loving me, Tracy Anderson. How are you doing? It is such a beautiful day today here in the Carolinas. Right now, the temperature is, ooh, it's 83 degrees here in North Carolina. We're going to be looking at 86 tomorrow, 84. It's going to be in the 80s all next week. Oh, but then the following week is going to drop back down to the 60s. And that's kind of how it is in the spring. I'm in Charlotte area, and it ebbs and flows in the spring. It's trying to gear up so it can be hot always for the summer. But Oh, 83 degrees right now is remarkable. It's such a beautiful day. I hope the weather is beautiful where you are too. Slasher Chick, how are you? Marlene will be right back. She had to step away for a couple of minutes. I hope everyone did enjoy the empowerment conference yesterday, and that's what this is the recap of. There were 5 dynamic sessions, and let me see. So the conference was Blossom into Your Best Self, and at 1 o'clock yesterday we had Team Build with Geo. I'm sure Marlene has her playlist. We all have a playlist with everyone's live on it, and each session was 45 minutes. Then at 1:45, Pandy's Hair, Candy, and More. And oh, Team Built with Geo talked about change your mindset and blossom into your best self. And Pandy's Hair, Candy, and More, she spoke about springing into action, blossom into your best self this season, and unleash your potential. Then at 2:30, the amazing Sylvia went on, and her topic was blossom into who you were born to be. I went on at 3:15, and I'm Coach Sherry, and my topic was the process of becoming. Then at 4, Coach Mary Ma came on, and her topic was Dare to Dream, Embrace Your Limitless Possibilities. And at 4:45, Marlene came on, Marlene Motivates, and she was able to really tie in all the things in regards to blossoming into your best self. Marlene, I was trying to keep
Sorry about
everyone.
that. Right when you're gonna do something, that's when the doorbell rings, you're getting packages. I was like, oh my goodness.
I
Sorry
know.
about that.
Not a problem. Listen, I couldn't see for some reason on my iPad. I don't have full access to a lot of things, so I couldn't see the chat. I had
Oh,
to go on my phone to read who was in the chat.
well, I appreciate you being up here, keeping everything going. I'm sure that everybody appreciated you. I just want to say hi to everybody's in the chat. Hi, Miss Tracy. Hi, Alicia. Hey, John. And I think it was Realist One came in and Rudy. How are you guys doing? Happy Sunday to everybody. Appreciate you, Coach Sherry, for keeping it going.
Yeah, my pleasure. But I'm going to get ready to drop down and continue to enjoy your live and recap in case any of the other ladies are in the building that want to come up. But thank you, Marlene, again for inviting me to be part of that dynamic empowerment conference and also having me up here for a little bit on
Yeah.
your platform. So thank you.
I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, Coach
You
Sherry. Thank you
too.
so much.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much, Coach Sherry. I really do appreciate it. Um, Tracy says it's 80s and up and down here in Vegas. Wow, that's hot, Miss Tracy. So let me get back to some of these points that I was giving for Coach Mary Ma. And she was talking about, daring to dream. So we have to first want to make a change, first. And I think that that's the probably one of the easiest things to say, but the hardest thing to do. We can say we want to change, but what work are we putting into our life? What are we putting in to show that we actually want to make changes? And there's going to be challenges. And that's the hard part. We really don't want to face in life that there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be challenges, but still dare to dream anyways. It's the fear of greatness of a dream that will stop it from coming true. So it's very important that to not let fears stop us. Don't let a fear of the what ifs, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and this happened or that happened to stop us from being our best. Okay. So don't fear the greatness of a dream, because it will stop it from coming true. Just because a dream may be big doesn't mean it can't happen for you. Okay. Your dream is your why. I thought that that was very profound and phenomenal, to say that we can allow ourselves to have be and do anything that we want. And that's one of the things that really helped me when I was going through this metamorphosis change in my life into blossoming into my best self, allowing myself to be able to say, you can do that. You can do something great. You can be better. You can dream. You can change. You can have something phenomenal. But it's allowing ourselves that freedom to have those thoughts, have the freedom to allow yourself to say, I can do something great. And you can. If you really want to, you can do anything that you want. But first, it starts with having the dreams and allowing yourself to be great, allowing yourself to challenge your norms. Because I know for myself, I get stuck in like just being comfortable. Well, anything that is new, it's difficult sometimes, right? Yes, you can, Coach Sherry. Yes, you can. It's very important to say that to ourselves, that we can have, we can be, and we can do something great. You can. Okay. And the last point that I have here from Coach Mary Ma was becoming is something that never stops. And that was one of the first times that I've ever heard of that. And I think that that's a really great statement. Becoming is something that never stops. You can always become better. You can always believe that better is ahead for me. I like to remind myself when I'm hit a roadblock, or I've hit a wall, or I feel discouraged, or whatever the case may be, that I am in a state of being, that where I am right now in my present does not define who I'm going to be in the future. And the same thing, your past does not define your present. That's something that I have on my wall. My past does not define my present. I define my present by what I think about myself, what I believe about myself, what I speak over myself and my life, who I choose to associate with, and what I'm willing to change. Because that's what personal growth development is all about. Not staying in the same space, allowing yourself to elevate and to grow and to do and be better. I think that that's so important for us to say that to ourselves. You can do better, you can be better, and then getting up and making it happen. But it just doesn't happen just like that. We have to put in some work. It's all good, John. I appreciate you being here. But it's not just us saying we want change. That's something easy to say, I want to make changes, but are we willing to do? And what plans are we making? See, until we formulate a route, how are you going to get there effectively? And you have to say, what could be some of those roadblocks that may stop me? What will some of those challenges be along the way? Because if we know how to navigate, we know what's coming, we're able to better blossom and grow as human beings, as better everything in all our relationships. Because when we become better, we improve in all of our relationships, in your business, in your finances, in your mindset, spiritually, with your friends. Everything shifts when you become better within yourself. When you have a better relationship with yourself, when you become a better friend, you also can be better for others. And I think that that's really a good thing to keep in mind. People say a lot of words with no action. And Coach Sherry, I think that most people, they actually want to improve, but they don't know how. They don't make a plan, and they let fears or roadblocks or sadness or financial situation. One thing that my mentor always tells me constantly, if you want to make an excuse, if you really want to do something, there will always be, if you really want to do something, there won't be an excuse. Because many times we'll make up excuses, but an excuse is just a way of us saying, I don't want to do it, basically. So if you really want to do something, just saying you're tired, just saying you're busy, just saying you can't afford it, if you want to do anything, you will always find a way to navigate through any challenge. Yes, it starts with self. Yes, that's right. It stems from their beliefs. I know that's right. And I think that I have come to the end of all of those ladies. And now I'm going to get into the highlights from what I talked about, from my point, and mine was awaken, plant, and transform. Okay, awaken, plant, and transform. So I came up with this thought because I was thinking about how many people are awake. I mean, asleep in their dreams. They're asleep in their dreams. They're asleep in you know, their encouragement. They're asleep in their relationship. They've allowed challenges and life and stress and problems to get them stuck, and you're in this state of being asleep mentally, being asleep spiritually, being asleep financially. And I felt like it was very appropriate to say awaken. It's time to wake up, because many people are asleep in their focus, their mental and emotional connection. We all need to awaken from the sleep state. And how do we do this? We become closer to what is important to us. And I've heard people always say, you know, that they want to do better, but they have no time. If you really want to do something, you make time for what is important to you. And I had to become real and honest and accountable on that. If I really want to do something, you will make the time for it. Okay, so how do we improve? So four things we need to awaken in, and that is friendships, with those that we love, with spiritual closeness, being purpose driven, and our financial literacy. So, how do we improve with our friendships? Our friends are people who are very important to us, right? And we know them and we love them. But what is the quality of our friendships? Are you spending time with them? Do you listen to them? Do you know them? Do you support them as well as they support you? Many times we want a great friend, but are we a good friend? So that's the thing. Awaken and appreciate your friendships. Also, we have to awaken, to those that we love, whether it be your spouse, significant other, your children, whoever is important to you in your life. Many times we make so many sacrifices, because we have to work and we have to make money, that we don't get to spend quality time with those that we love. But we have to make time. Awaken. Life is short. We don't know when's the next time we're going to see the people that we love. So it's one of those things to encourage us to not harbor resentment, to not be angry, to forgive those that we love, because like they hurt us, we hurt them. So awaken, mature, you know, do better and improve in our relationships with those that we love. We know them and we love them, but we also have to be patient, going back to that thing that I'm working on, patience. It reminded me of that Spike Lee movie when he said, wake up. Yes, 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 Coach Sherry. So next, we're going to go on to the spiritual closeness now. This is to those of you who are people of faith, or those who are spiritual people. When we talk about our relationships, whatever it is that you're dealing with, everybody needs some sort of spiritual connection, whether it be meditation, whether it be prayer, whether it be worship, whatever it is. But whatever it is that fills up your cup to give you that spiritual closeness, to give you your strength and your power to continue on. Because many times life, stress, and people gets us down, gets us discouraged, makes us feel some type of way. But we have to get into that spiritual closeness and connect. and make time for what is important, and that spirit, your spirituality is so important. So awaken and, you know, spend some moments. It doesn't have to be a long time, but spend the time in connecting, whether in nature, whether in prayer, whether in reading, whether it's whatever it is that helps you to connect how you need to. We all need to connect spiritually. And the next point is, it's time to awaken in being purpose driven. Many times we all have a purpose, every single one of us. You have a purpose, I have a purpose, but we allow our purpose to become dim sometimes. And we are not doing what we need to do in waking up our talents, doing what we need to do, encouraging ourselves, elevating our talent, improving the quality of our talent. So, you know, becoming purpose driven is so important. I want to encourage somebody today and let you know that you have a purpose. You have a purpose, and I have a purpose. Awaken your purpose, awaken your passion. You know, it's so important that we love what we do. You know, instead of just going through life, we need to learn to love our life. And the last point that I had on here was, you know, financial literacy. Many of us did not come with a set of instructions on credit scores and planning for retirement, Roth IRAs, and this and budgeting, on and on it goes. But we have to put in some work as we are mature and grown people, so that we can leave a legacy for the next generation. It's important to do that not only for them, but for ourselves. And we can't just say, oh, I don't know how to do it, or nobody in my family does that. If we really want change, it doesn't matter. You can have financial literacy with a low income. You don't have to be rich, but you can be able to have money. You can save, you can plan, you can do lots of things if you want to. That's something that I had to learn for myself. You know, we always will make excuses for things that are not important to us. Always. Coach Sherry says some people find it challenging to find their purpose. They really do. Some people really find it challenging, but you know, that's the time where you meditate, you write down a few things. What do you enjoy doing? And then meeting with a life coach, meeting with a counselor, and then, you know, going through the steps that will help you to get into your life with purpose and passion. Okay. So, you know, we get so busy in life that we don't focus on ourselves and what truly matters. We allow ourselves to get distracted by people and stress, and we become discouraged. You will get so distracted that you don't even know that you have been asleep. And I've been, you know, where you just have been doing things month after month, year after year, and you're in the same space. But we have to awaken our spirit, our soul, our passion, our love for what matters, our closeness to our spiritual connection. And we do this by planting. And, you know, in planting, we have to ask ourselves, how is the soil? You know, before you have that garden and everything going on, you have to make sure that the soil is strong. So you're weeding, you're fortifying, and you're watering. Okay. And I believe this is going to be my last point here. When we water, we pour love into ourselves. So that means self care, self love, setting boundaries, getting rest, and we respect ourselves. But the word of caution here to all you motivators, we are planting and watering in others, but are we planting and watering in ourselves? It's so important that we awaken to our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, what we deserve, and elevate that. You know, getting involved in being in your romantic relationship, or with your children, or with your job, or every other relationship, but we forget about ourselves. It's very important that we blossom into our best self. See, sometimes we're just going through life, but we don't really have a life outside of people in our life, like your kids, your spouse, your friends. What about your life and what you would like to and want to do? So after we put into the work in ourselves and we're no longer asleep, we have to allow ourselves to rise up and then to blossom into our best self. We want prosperity, peace, and success. You all deserve it. And I hope that this empowerment conference, I just want to share some of my personal highlights. And I want to thank all of the ladies who have participated in the Blossom into Your Best Self. It was phenomenal. The playlist is on my community tab, and I'm sure all of the ladies have made a playlist on theirs as well. Thank you all so much for supporting me and also all of the other ladies. It's been phenomenal, and I can't wait until the next empowerment conference, which is going to be the summer empowerment conference. I don't know the title yet, but I think it's been great. And I'm grateful to each of the ladies. Thank you so much. Yes, everybody, blossom into your best self. And thank you so much for participating, Coach Sherry. Thank you so much for the saying that great recap. Everybody did so great. So, like I said, if you missed any of it, catch up and watch each of the ladies. Thank you so much for participating, to all of the ladies in the empowerment conference, and to all of you motivators. Blossom into your best self. Be your best you. Put in the work. Face your challenges. Find out your roadblocks. Dare to dream. Blossom into your best self. Be who you were born to be. All of those things, everybody, because you are worthy and deserving. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and thank you so much for tuning into the recap of the Blossom into Your Best Self Empowerment Conference. I will see you guys on the next one. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Motivated podcast. I will see you guys there. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself. I'll see you on the next one, everybody.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you?